Welcome back to the deep dive, where we really get into the details that matter.
And today we are jumping straight into a world that's familiar to so many of us.
The airport, that feeling of excitement, but also, that deep stress of just getting through it.
It's such a strange paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
One minute you're relaxed, maybe grabbing a coffee.
And the next, your whole trip depends on you understanding some super fast, high stakes piece of information.
Exactly. And that's what we're looking at today.
We all know that feeling, that anxiety, because the system is so big, the deadlines are so tight.
And if just one little thing goes wrong.
The whole journey can just fall apart. Today, we're talking about that moment, the moment it breaks down for one person.
Right. And we're looking at English not for, a casual chat, but as a survival tool.
A tool for you, the English learner, to handle a huge, urgent problem in a place like a massive international airport.
We want to show you how to turn that chaos into organized action.
And we're going to do that by following the story of a traveler named Maya.
Her trip to New York was suddenly in jeopardy.
Her entire plan depended on just 6 words and 4 simple phrases.
And this brings us right to the heart of it. To a feeling I think anyone who's ever traveled will understand.
Have you ever been lost in a huge, unfamiliar airport? Maybe staring at a screen you don't understand, feeling
Yeah.
time just squeezing you, that feeling, that panic when you realize you're in the wrong place.
That is exactly where Maya's story begins. She's landed, she's in this giant airport, and her English skills are all she has to solve a very, very real problem.
So let's dive in. All right, so let's set the scene. Maya has finished her first flight. She's in that waiting period.
She's waiting for her second flight, and that second flight is called her connection.
Okay, connection. This is probably the most important word for this part of the journey. Let's break that down for our A2B1 learners.
A connection flight is, very simply, the second plane you have to take. You land in one city, and then you take another plane to get to where you're really going.
So it's not your final destination, it's the stop in the middle.
Exactly. It's the stopover.
And that's different from a layover, right?
Right. The layover is the time you spend waiting. I have a 2-hour layover. The connection is the plane itself, the flight you have to catch.
And connections are just inherently stressful. Why is that?
Because there's so much you can't control. The clock is always, always ticking.
If your first flight is even a little bit late,
Your time to make that connection just shrinks instantly. And you might have to go through security again or find a totally different part of the airport.
so for Maya, the stakes are high. She's probably tired.
Maybe a bit jet lagged.
And if she doesn't make this flight, it's a huge mess. Rebooking, maybe getting stranded.
We know she's going to New York, so this feels important. It gives the journey a real sense of urgency.
Okay, so she's sitting there, probably watching those big screens with all the flight number.
Right. And she's focused on 2 key times, 2 deadlines, the departure time and the boarding time.
It seems simple, but getting these two mixed up in a moment of stress would be bad.
Very bad.
Oh.
So let's be really clear.
Okay, what is departure?
Departure is the hard deadline. It's the time the plane is scheduled to actually leave the ground. Wheels up.
It's the big, bold time on your ticket.
Exactly. If you're not on the plane by then, the plane is gone.
But your personal deadline, the one you really need to worry about, is actually earlier. That's the boarding time.
Yes. Boarding is when they let passengers start to get on the plane.
And that usually starts, 30, 45 minutes before departure?
For a big international flight like this one to New York, absolutely. They need that time to check tickets, get everyone settled.
So if Maya is watching the clock, she knows that boarding time is her real goal.
It is. They'll often close the gate door before the official departure time. If you miss boarding, you've missed the flight.
So she's sitting there, focused, watching her gate number, watching those 2 clocks.
Boarding first, departure second. Everything is calm.
For now. But in an airport, that perfect system, it rarely stays perfect for long.
And that's when it happens.
The atmosphere just shifts. Maya's sitting there, maybe reading, and then she hears it. An announcement.
That familiar airport chime. The ding-dong. But what comes after is, well, it's often a blur.
It's so hard to understand those things.
It really is. It's fast. It's echoing. Maybe there's an accent she's not used to.
Yeah.
And it's competing with, thousands of other sounds.
So she catches the tone, the urgency in the voice.
But not the details. Not the specific words. Her ears have failed her because of the environment.
Which is why she looks up to the screen.
The visual source. That's her absolute source of truth. It's stable. She can read it.
And the screen confirms her fear, right there, in capital letters next to her flight to New York.
Gate change.
Those 2 words.
2 words that change everything.
Hmm?
Because the gate is, well, it's her physical destination inside the airport.
Okay, let's define that really simply. What is a gate?
A gate is just the door. It's the specific door that takes you from the waiting area onto the airplane.
And airports label them with letters and numbers. A, B, C, and then 1, 2, 3.
Right. So Maya was comfortable. She was at gate day 1. Sounds simple, easy.
She was settled. And then she reads that phrase, gate change.
Okay, let's unpack this phrase. What does gate change really mean for a traveler?
It means the door she was waiting at, A1, is now the wrong door.
Totally wrong. Her plane is now at a different door, a new one. For the airline, it's a small operational change. For Maya, it's an emergency.
It means stop what you're doing, start resting.
And start moving.
Now.
Your whole mental map of where you need to be is suddenly useless.
And then she sees the full extent of the problem on the screen, the new gate.
It's not A2.
No. Her new destination is gate C50.
Wow. A1 to C50, that just sounds far.
It is. This is when the problem becomes very, very physical.
Let's talk about the scale of this. Moving from gate A1 to gate C50. In a huge airport, that's not a walk. That's a journey.
It's basically the maximum possible distance. They're as far apart as they could possibly be.
When you go from an A gate to a C gate, you're often crossing entire terminals. Right. Almost certainly. We should define terminal for our listeners.
Good idea.
A terminal is like a huge separate building within the airport. Terminal A is one building, Terminal C is another.
So being at A1 means she's at the start of Building A.
And C50 means she has to get to the very, very far end of Building C.
Okay, so she's looking at a journey across tunnels, down escalators. It's a maze.
And now for the worst part, the time.
She has only 15 minutes.
That number. 15 minutes. That is the real villain of the story.
Well, wait a second. 15 minutes to get from A1 to C50.
Yes.
Is that even possible? I mean, my first instinct would be to just run, but...
And that's her instinct, too. It's that fight or flight response. The clock is ticking, you run.
But it's a trap.
It's a total trap. You're right. Most big airports would say that walk takes 20, maybe 30 minutes. And that's if you're moving fast and you know exactly where you're going.
The running blindly is just going to lead to exhaustion and failure.
She has to switch from panic to efficiency instantly.
Let's think about that feeling, though. The panic. She is panicked. Her carry-on bag feels like it weighs a ton.
Her heart is pounding. She's trying to read signs while running, dodging people.
And those signs can be so confusing. Little arrows, airport jargon.
Right. She's trying to follow Terminal C or Gates 4060, but her eyes are scanning too quickly.
Her internal map is useless now. She has to rely on asking for help.
100%.
Yeah.
Asking for help is now mandatory. She cannot afford to run the wrong way for even 2 minutes.
Her success now depends on her ability to communicate her problem. Clearly, urgently, in English.
So she stops running.
And starts speaking.
Okay, this is the survival guide. This is the tactical English you need when seconds count.
You have to be so efficient with your words.
Exactly. Maximum information, minimum words. You need the airport staff to understand the emergency immediately.
So, phrase number 1. This is the headline. This is the whole problem in 4 words.
My gate has changed.
It's so direct.
It has to be. Maya spots an employee. She doesn't have time for, excuse me, I'm very sorry to bother you, but...
But hold on. For an English learner, that feels rude, right? To just jump in like that.
That's a great point. And normally, yes, you'd be more polite. But this is an emergency.
And the staff are trained for this.
They are. Starting with, my gate has changed, is a signal. It tells them. This is urgent. This is time sensitive. This is a crisis.
So it's actually more helpful to be direct?
Much more helpful. If she says, I need to get to C50, they might just think she's asking for directions. My gate has changed. Tells them a flight is about to leave.
And she should have her boarding pass ready to show them. Point at the old gate, point at the new one.
Perfect. The physical action supports the language. Gates change. New York. Now.
Okay, so that states the problem. But walking isn't an option. She needs a machine to help her.
Exactly. This brings us to phrase number 2. Seeking the solution.
Where is the shuttle?
Yes. But let's be really clear about this word. Shuttle.
What exactly is an airport shuttle?
In an airport, a shuttle is a special bus or a train or even a little cart that moves inside the secure area. Its only job is to get people between gates or terminals quickly.
So it's different from like a bus to a hotel.
Totally different.
Yeah.
By asking for the shuttle, She's signaling that she knows the distance is huge and she needs the internal fast-track option.
It's efficient. It shows she understands the scale of the airport. My gate has changed to C50. Where is the shuttle?
Perfect. Even if they don't have a bus, maybe they have a train, they'll understand what she means. They'll point her to the fastest option.
Okay, she's stated the problem, she's asked for the solution, but she needs to make sure the staff member understands how fast this needs to happen.
This is phrase number 3. This is about tempo, about priority.
I'm in a hurry.
Simple, but powerful. It tells the staff member to stop everything else. It says, my boarding is happening right now.
It's what makes them move quickly for you.
Right. They hear that, and they understand the stakes. A missed international flight is a big deal. It creates an empathetic response. They will point, use short words, maybe even call ahead on the radio.
The tone matters here, too.
Yes. Not angry, not yelling, just stressed, urgent, breathless. It conveys a kind of controlled desperation.
So that's the ideal situation. But what if the first person she asks can't help? What if they don't know?
Great question. She can't waste time. If someone looks confused or starts giving long, complex directions, she has to cut it short.
A quick thank you and move.
Exactly. And look for an information kiosk or a help desk. You know, the places with the big I symbol.
Because that's their specific job.
Right. And there, her phrase might change a little. I need an urgent transfer to C50. My flight is boarding. Urgent transfer is a great phrase. It covers everything.
Okay. But we have to prepare for the worst. What if she gets there and the door is closed? What if the 15 minutes are gone?
Then her mission changes completely. She's no longer a runner. She's now a rebooker.
And she needs the language for that. This is phrase number 4.
I missed my flight.
It's a statement of fact. Using the past tense. Missed. It's over.
And that's so important. It tells the agent at the gate that the problem is now administrative. They don't need to try to call the plane back.
It shifts the focus from the gate to the customer service desk.
Precisely. It allows them to start looking for the next flight to New York.
Yeah.
She's not running anymore. She's problem solving.
And after she says, I missed my flight, what comes next?
When is the next flight? Or can you rebook me? It channels that panic into the next logical step.
Oh, wow. That was an intense breakdown. Let's do a quick review of that core vocabulary she needed.
Let's lock these in.
It all started because she was making a connection.
Right. The second flight in her journey. The one she had to catch to finish her trip.
The crisis was triggered by an announcement.
That sound over the speakers that told her something was wrong and she needed to check the screen.
The problem was the physical location. The gate.
The door to the plane. Her problem was the massive distance between her old gate, A1, and the new one, C50.
And that distance meant crossing from one terminal to another.
From building A to building C. A huge part of the airport.
She was racing against 2 clocks, boarding,
Her immediate deadline. The time to get on the plane.
and departure.
The final deadline, when a plane actually leaves the ground.
And her only hope to make it was the shuttle.
That internal airport bus or train. Her logistical shortcut to beat the clock.
So, 6 words to understand the problem.
And 4 phrases to solve it. It's a survival kit.
A whole high-stakes puzzle really boiled down to just 10 essential pieces of English.
What a journey. From A1 to C50 in 15 minutes. It's the ultimate airport nightmare.
But hopefully by breaking it down, we've given you the tools to handle it. We started with Maya hearing that announcement, seeing the shock of the gate change.
And the urgency was just absolute. That 15-minute clock, the huge distance across the terminal. She had to become an active, efficient communicator.
And her connection to New York, her whole trip, really depended on her using clear English.
Stating the problem, asking for the shuttle, and showing that she was in a hurry.
I think what this really shows is that in these high-pressure moments, English isn't about being perfect.
Not at all. It's about being clear, direct, efficient. Learning these words and phrases is like having a really good piece of travel insurance.
It puts you back in control even when the situation feels totally out of control. It turns that blind panic into a checklist.
Exactly. You know what to do, you know what to say. And even if you end up having to say, I missed my flight, you're prepared for what comes next. You're not just lost.
So now that you know how important clear communication is when you're rushing to a gate, we want you to take a moment. Think about your own travel preparations.
Because good travel starts way before any panic sets in.
Write down one thing you always pack in your carry-on that helps you manage stress or just feel prepared. Maybe it's a portable charger, a map of the airport, or maybe a little card with these key phrases written on it.
Knowledge really is power. especially when you're standing at gate A1 looking at a sign for C50 with 15 minutes on the clock.
We hope this makes your next trip just a little bit smoother.
Thanks for diving deep with us into the art of airport survival.
Safe travels.
And always know where your shuttle is. We'll see you next time.